700 horses of man and machine. They're full wide. Green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green. Week number 8 of the 2024 summer season for the Coast to Coast Racing League. And on Monday nights, we head to the home of the Ironman, Pevely, Missouri, Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55. One of the shortest treks that we go to all season long in iRacing. Welcome to I-55. As mentioned, week number 8 of the 2024 summer season. And we are excited for this one, that is for sure. Well, we're so glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman. Big hello to our fellow Booth Boy members who are partying down in Oswego. Not Oswego, I'm sorry, that's a few months from now. Knoxville tonight. Biggest week of the season for sprint car racing, with it being Knoxville Nationals week. It's a good time to be a dirt fan, that's for sure, Shaggy.
Yeah, and they kicked off last night with a great show there in the Capitani Classic, and man, 25 laps, flag to flag, no cautions. It's Brandon and Dean. They were treated quite the show, and well, hopefully they have good weather for the rest of the week, and we get all good hard racing in.
Let's talk about the season so far, featuring Open 358, and the man everyone's trying to chase right now is probably the best small block driver right now, the best modified driver right now in Coast to Coast, and that's Isaac Salas. 46-point lead on Sam Bachman coming in. Bachman has a little bit of advantages. Last week, he took home the checkered flag at Limaland.
Yeah, he's going to have his work cut out for him tonight. You always want to qualify well, but man, this is going to be one of those tracks where that invert, the heats, it's going to be very important. It's going to be tough to pass here. And speaking of qualifying, Marty, it looks like we're getting ready to roll into it.
Alrighty, we're going to waste no time, get things going. So 2 minutes all the drivers have to qualify to put up 2 laps. Their best lap obviously will count. We'll show you your favorite drivers here on the bottom. While we were at it, let's know who you're rooting for in the chat. Thanks for joining us. The Goose Chad Cote checking in. We're doing well here on this fine night. First driver we'll watch, the driver of the Full Throttle Motorsports number 4. That's Scott Rayome. Scotty was probably wondering where I was last weekend at Land of Legends Raceway in Canandaigua. I was partying at Lancaster for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. That had a good show. Saw Austin Beers take the win. Lap one time. Go ahead.
He kissed the wall there going down the backstretch, Marty. We're not going to get a lap one time from him, so he's got to put a good one together here on lap 2.
Kurt Schatzer, Gavin Chatham to the top, 13.331 for the 99. Quick time, Scott Rayome, 13.308, but his buddy Isaac Salas may answer back. Yes, he does, 13.282 on lap number 1. 25 thousandths quicker. The driver of the 444, and he will forgo lap number 2. Logan Wentz up to second with a 13.30 on the second lap. See if anybody else is still qualifying. Let's go to Sam Bachman, who is third quick on lap number 1. That's a 13.31 for the driver of the 107. Randy Shreve's also qualifying. He's just about set to take the checkered flag. A full field with us tonight, 24 drivers, no B-main. Shreves improves to 21st, but quick time, Sam Bachman, 13.268, better by 14 thousandths of a second. And so with that, Sam Bachman goes quickest in qualifying. Let's figure out who is going to start where here. 3 heat races tonight. So Dan McLaren, Brian Dickens, and Jeff Barker will start on pole position for heats 1 through 3 respectively, Zach.
Yeah, you got to think those are the money spots. Dan McLaren especially because, well, as the heats roll on here, the bottom is going to get thinner and thinner here. So Dan's got to have a good turn 1 and slide up there and protect that lead, or man, it's going to be tough to get it on the bottom.
So we are set to go for heat racing here tonight. Again, thanks for joining us here on Coast to Coast Monday Night Madness. We go to heat race number 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, an official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's how the field lines up. Dan McLaren on pole position in the 88. Next to him, Gavin Chatham in car number 99. Row number 2, Scott Rayome, he's in the number 4. And Sam Bachman next to him in the 107. Row number 3, Brian Lawson, he's in car number 9. And Tyler Flynn is in the 831. Final row tonight, the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. To the inside of him is Jake Henry in the 171. No penalties coming out of open 358. So all is good.
Yeah, these guys in a hurry tonight, Marty. They gridded quick, went to qualifying quick. They're trying to speed up the show. It does look pretty gray out there.
Yeah, I wonder if there's threatening rain in the area of Pevely, Missouri. Anyway, winner on pole position tonight for our 30-lap feature. Here we go for Heat 1. Already 3 wide for third position. Brian Lawson tried to find a lane and got shut down because of it. As the field makes their way off the corner, it's Dan McLaren that leads the opening lap. Scott Rayome, though, and Gavin Chatham nearly touched for second.
Yeah, Scott Rayome doing really good on the bottom here. He's looking for the lead. 2 guys, 1 lap here as the 88 looks to counter back.
What a start to this one in Heat 1. Bear with us. If you can't hear us, let us know in the chat with the engines. We'll turn it down. Obviously, don't know what's happening in master control at the end. But McLaren pulls out by just the nose on Scott Rayome. Who's going to lead this one at the halfway mark? It's Rayome barely on the Venom 88. No yaw for McLaren there in turn number 2. Gavin Chatham handle off the throttle. Sam Bachman may go from 4th to 2nd in this heat at the moment.
Yeah, and hats off to Gavin Chatham for doing that. We don't see enough guys back out of the throttle, and in that situation, didn't have enough of the car there. Up high, 3 wide, do the smart thing, live to race another day.
So Scott Rayome out in front with 1 lap to go in heat race number 1. Quickest lap last time by, 13:30, and same with Sam Bachman. Full Throttle Motorsports 1 and 2. Everyone makes the show. Winner on pole, his name is Scott Rayome. Bachman 2nd, McLaren 3rd, Chatham 4th, Lawson 5th, Flynn 6th, Bixler 7th, and Henry 8th. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't hear us over the engines, let us know. We'll make an adjustment to the sound. Not sure what is going on. For some reason, my audio a lot louder than it normally is. So Second heat race of the night brought to you by our friends at Regency Home Inspections. And here's how the starting lineup looks. Brian Dickens on pole position in the Hammerdown Racing number 122. Hammerdown teammate 2 is outside at speed temp, Brandon Templeton, the 31. Row number 2, Venom teammates, Trent Verstraeten in the 88, and Slide Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 3, the Hitman, Brett Walsh in the 52, and Clay Christopherson in the 51. Final row on the grid, Randall Dixon, he's in the 011, and Pat Boyce in car number 41.
Went and check the feed. Audio sounds great, Marty, but yeah, I think iRacing snuck in an audio update because my broadcasts were suffering the same issue here.
All right, green flag is out for heat race number 2. Winner on the outside of the front row. Dickens washes up the track. 3 by 3 off the corner. Brandon Templeton has the early race lead. Isaac Salas going to go 2 for 1 off the corner. Salas, did he just get pinballed? Pat Boyce just went around. Nope, that was some neck code off of the 41. We stay green, though, regardless. Brandon Templeton, though, has everybody cleared as we're nearly 4 wide off the corner.
Yeah, able to slide up in front of the 122. He gets a little shove back going into the corner, and now Brian Dickens, he's going to look low, but contact on the backstretch.
Dickens hanging on for dear life. More contact between him and Randall Dixon. Dickens may have a problem with the 122. He backs out of it. Brett Walsh underneath for straight in. The 88 thought about sending it, trying to go underneath Isaac Salas for the second position on the racetrack. That is some tight race between the Hitman and Verstraeten with 2 to go, Zach.
Yeah, and you know, we saw the Hitman get his first win Thursday night here in the Coast to Coast Racing League, so we know he knows how to drive a small block, but man, it's hard to get around here, but he's going to send it in.
Walsh for third. Can he get that to work off of 2? He cannot. They are side by side through 3 and 4. B-Town, Brandon Templeton takes the win. Way too close to call for third. I think the Hitman got it.
Trent Verstraeten barely edged him out at the line.
So now we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's the starting lineup. The Brood to Beats, Jeff Barker on pole position. Next to him, it's Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row number 2, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, the 075. And Logan Wentz is next to him in the 118. Row number 3, Bud Molyneux in the 883. And Michael Vitale next to him in the 213. Final row on the grid, Randy Shreves, he's in car number 56. And Jonathan Dolly back with us tonight in the 74. Gary Sigelcow checking in, rooting for Venom, and Brian Lawson. Jason Butterfield also with us, and also Butchie Baker. All big Isaac Salas fans here tonight. Winner inside of row number 2. We are underway. As the final heat race is green, Jeff Barker with a heck of a jump has already cleared Giroux, Schatzer, and Logan Wentz, who are just about 3 wide for the second position off the corner. Barker leads for third. I think it was Wentz over Schatzer, and now Schatzer 3 wide for fourth, Zach.
Yeah, Superman's got the cape on. He's trying to go around the outside, but I just don't think it's there yet, Marty. They're finding so much grip in the middle to lower part of the track that running that lip right now, it's just too far around.
Kurt Schatzer over the lip and in the wall, but here comes Trevor Giroux underneath on Jeff Barker. This is the battle for the race lead. Side by side off for 4. Barker led at the line, but Giroux throws there with a slide job. Barker crisscrosses, hangs on to the lead.
Yeah, Barker's just keeping his cool down there on the bottom, and he knows he's only got to hold him off for 2 more laps. Here's 2 sticks in the air.
Giroux tries to go the longer way around the racetrack. Can he get it to work off at turn number 2? Yes, he can. Logan Wentz closes on in. 1 to go this time. They nearly touch. Trevor Giroux back out in front.
Yeah, and you got to think with as polite a guy as Jeff Barker is here, he's going to keep it low, and Trevor Giroux's in the preferred spot. And going through 3 and 4 for the final time, Trevor Giroux's the man out front.
And Giroux has cleared Jeff Barker. Checkers wave. Giroux wins the final heat. Barker second, Wentz third, Schatzer fourth, Molyneux fifth, Vitale sixth. Molyneux sixth, Vitale seventh, Dolly eighth, Shreves in fifth. So we'll step aside and go to our first commercial break tonight. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway, they're lean, they're mean, they're 700 horses of man.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Open 358 Dirt Modifieds on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Regency Home Inspections. Now let's go racing.
Let's go racing indeed, Brian Lawson. Just over a minute left from warm-ups wrapping up here. Clay Christopherson is your quickest driver at 13:3:24. Just about a minute left until we go green here. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Bryce Calla with you alongside Zach Chapman. Let's give you a reminder of how the standings look coming on in here for tonight. 4 races left in the season. With the drops, Isaac Salas leads 398 to 352 on Sam Bachman. Kurt Schatzer is third with 330 points. Fourth is Steen Reynolds with 315. And fifth is Gavin Chatham with 313 points. Obviously, some of the drivers here not with us, of course, with it being a big week in Knoxville. But could use this as your drop week potentially.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do. And I'm rather surprised. I wonder if Blake Chapman's going to be one of those drivers enjoying festivities this week. I was kind of surprised to not see him here.
All right, we are set to go racing. Let's meet the field and give you the RSN Trackside starting lineup. For the first feature of the night, Scott Rayom on pole position. He's in the number 4. Next to him, it's Speed Temp. Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 2, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux in the 75, and Sam Bachman next to him in the 107. Row number 3, it's Sly Job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 4, it's Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88, and Trent Verstraeten also in the 88. Pair of Venom teammates share row 4. Rounding out the top 10, it's Logan Wentz. He's in the 118. Next to him, it's Gavin Chatham in car number 99. Row 6, the Hitman, Brett Walsh in the 520. And Superman Kurt Schatzer next to him in the 218. Row number 7, Brian Lawson in the 9, and Clay Christopherson next to him in the 051. And in row number 8, Randy Shreves of the 56, and Tyler Flynn in the 831. Rest of the grid tonight look like this. Row 9, Randall Dixon, Bud Molyneux. Row 10, Steve Bixler the Mayor and Brian Dickens. Row 11, Michael Vitale and Jake Henry. The final row on the grid tonight, Pat Boyce and Jonathan Dolly. Picks tonight to win. Zach Chapman, we'll begin with you.
Oh, man. Alrighty, let's go with Samuel Bachman in the 107.
There you go, Bachman. I'm thinking Sly Job tonight. Give me Isaac Salas for the win.
Good picks. Another guy I debated on. Got to keep your eye on the Philly Flyer, too, especially starting in the top 5.
We'll have to see what happens. 1 lap away for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. 24 drivers, not named Siri because she's interrupting me right now. About to take the green for 30 laps. Always a favorite out there, pick it ASAP. Steve King Foundation pace car makes the left-hand turn to pit road. Rayom and Templeton on the front row. First feature of the night. It's time to get it on.
Good jump for Brendan Templeton there on the outside as he's going to get a good pull going into 3 and 4, Marty. We may have a new leader at the line.
The Flatline Racing Body's green flag is out, but it's Rayom who edges out Templeton by a wheel, leads lap number 1. The field 2 by 2 off of turn number 2. Rayom now is able to clear the 31. Underneath, Giroux looking for third for Bachman, maybe even second on Vita. Still some awesome stuff early here.
Yeah, these guys are racing like it's the last lap, 3 wide there for P2, but Brandon Templeton, he is not giving up on that high side. He is going as hard as he can, but Scott Rayom is showing a good pace out front.
Templeton with a beautiful exit off of turn 4, rocking the hot and shield line. Now looks to gain, get some bite off of turn number 2 around the outside. Tries to close it on Rayom, looking for that race lead. Even with it being an open setup night tonight, the drivers are still racing hard, but all close together here as we work lap number 5.
Samuel Bachman now, he's got a good run on the bottom. He's going to take P2 at the line, finally, from Brandon Templeton. And, you know, we saw him ripping that lip, you know, the hot and shield line you called it, Marty, but he's kind of giving up on it. He can't be the only one doing it, or he's just going to use his tires and get nowhere.
Great side-by-side racing, and now Rayom is able to pull away. Giroux in 4th, Isaac Salas rounds out the top 5. Best mover on track, a Full Throttle Motorsports driver. Clay Christopherson started 14th. He's up to 10th. Remember, he was the quickest driver in warm-ups tonight here, Zach, and he nearly got turned, taken off the bumper of restraint, but finds a way to hang on to it.
Yeah, that mellow yellow machine's trying to keep his cool, but they're 3 wide through 3 and 4. He better hold on. Big wreck on the front stretch, big wreck.
Randall Dixon around, and same with Pat Boyce. Steve Bixler, Jake Henry, Bud Molyneux involved as our first caution flag waves here tonight on lap number 10. Take a look at a replay here. Oh man, Dixon gets to the back of Henry, and a lot of drivers would know where to go. It's so tough to avoid a wreck here at I-55 with how short the straightaways are. Let's go on board with Steve Bixler. Give us a much better idea of what happened. I can't tell the first driver it was that got in the wall. I think it may have been Molyneux.
Gavin Chatham comes down off the wall and pinches Bud Molyneux in the middle of a 3 wide sandwich between him and Brian Lawson. It all stems from there.
You see Molyneux with damage on the right front. Great call there, Zach. And so we are just about set for our first restart of the night. As we come back to green, let's show you the 5-lap average and show you who the better race car driver is at the moment. And you can tell it is very tight early here. Not a lot of passing going on.
No, I mean, now you got to think, if you're on the outside, you got to show what you're made of. Sam Bachman, Trevor Giroux, they're not in the preferred line. And at the same time, now Brandon Templeton, he gets to try to fight for those spots back on the bottom. So got to get a good restart.
Gonna watch this from the Chapman Racing drone as we come back to green. Rayom, the control car. Here we go. Let's see if Brandon Templeton can take second. He did at the line over Bachman. Now the 007 has to try and fight his way back. Salas in 4th. Giroux battling for a top 5 spot with Logan Wentz. Field makes the way through 3 and 4. Contact. Templeton slid up. Bachman hits Isaac Salas. Just a big stack up there in the race near the front of the field. Salas with no yaw on turn 2. Off the Nerf bars of a bunch of drivers. How everybody kept it straight, I don't know, Zach.
Yeah, Logan Wentz had to show some patience there. He kind of got stuck between a rock and a hard place. You said it, Isaac Salas tightened up on entry, but that was after getting run into coming off of 4, so he didn't have a good turn.
No!
There they go, they're wrecking.
McLaren caught Logan Wentz and Salas, and we have a Waffle House in turn 4. You saw Vitale involved, more damage from Logan Wentz. I think Jeff Barker got a piece of that too. A big one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's just, Dan was down there, but on corner entry, he just, kind of got held a little too low. You can't keep 3 guys from the middle bottom, and Isaac probably didn't realize they were 3 wide. He held his ground and just big wreck.
Yeah, safe to say that's just drivers going for the same piece of real estate there. And just look at that. That looks like a pileup you'd see on the streets of Long Beach. On board Logan Wentz here in a very tight race.
And now 1 to green here. All of a sudden, Brandon Templeton, now he's stuck back on the high side. So Samuel Bachman's where he wants to be. Here's pace cars pulling off.
Could maybe help out the driver of the 107 as we're back to green. Templeton still with second, has Bachman and Giroux cleared. Now let's see if B-Temp can fight on. Meanwhile, 3 wide for the 3rd position. McLaren nearly forced it 4 wide. Has to learn its lesson, though, after what happened on that last yellow flag. Giroux, meanwhile, corrects the podium. Just got past Bachman at the line there, Zach.
Yeah, talking about that yellow flag, it's kind of crazy. I just noticed Dan McLaren and Logan Wentz, they both got to hold their spots, but, man, they didn't learn their lesson. They're still hitting each
Bachman
other
in the wall.
3 and 4.
Finds a way to hang on to it. Isaac Salas may try to use it to his advantage. Look out, Logan Wentz off of Christopherson. Can he save it? Yes, he can. Nearly had a smorgasbord in the back of the pack. Everybody hangs on, Zach, as we're halfway home.
Yeah, no love lost between that 118 and the 88 today. They have been all over each other. And
one in the wall.
Logan.
McLaren catches Christopherson, and a hard leg McLaren upside down. Gavin Chatham involved. Same with the 831 of Flynn. You could tell that was not going to end pretty.
No, I mean, that was a long time coming. Those guys were racing real hard, and Dan just enters the corner a little early, gets into the wall, and no yaw from there, and big pile up.
Yeah, you can see caught that inside wall. Man, what a heavy impact McLaren had. The hitman got hit. There's Flynn. Let's ride on board Christopherson here. Got yeeted.
And now Dan and Brett are stuck in the pit road entry.
Wow, this is interesting. I think one man's trying to be a gentleman. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, I let you go first. There was that, it was like that one commercial. I think it was that Farmers Insurance ad where you had 2 men stopped at a 4-way. Like, I insist. No, I insist. So.
Well, nonetheless, they got it figured out.
All right, single file restarts for the rest of this one. Scott Rayome has led every single lap so far tonight. Brandon Templeton second, Trevor Giroux third, Isaac Salas fourth, Sam Bachman fifth. How about Michael Vitale from 21st up to 6th tonight? What a race he's had.
Yeah, big move for Michael Vitale, but it's been tough to pass tonight, and he showed that if you just stay patient and you hold your line, there is a way to get around, but no more double file restarts here. He's got to earn them the hard way.
13 laps to go in our first feature of the night. We're back to green. Giroux opened the door for Salas for the bottom step of the podium. Let's see if he can take it away from his Venom teammate. Templeton losing some ground to Scott Rayome. Now, could Venom possibly have a chance here at Scott Rayome if they get past Templeton?
Yeah, I mean, right now they're racing each other. Isaac thinks he's got the faster car. He's trying to get on the move, but he can't float up on corner exit. And, I mean, we've seen it night in, night out, Marty. They're just slowing each other down. So they need to make a team move here. And if Isaac is faster, let him by. Let him go work on Brandon.
They touch once again for third. Here's the 5-lap average on your screen. We'll pull it up here for you if we can. I think we're having some technical difficulties with that. Nope, we got it here. And you can see Isaac Salas looks just a tad better than Scott Rayome. There's 9 laps to go in this feature. That's not a lot of time. If it was Knoxville, it would be. Here, No way. That's like 3 laps to go at Knoxville.
No, I mean, the only predicament the leader could run into is he is about a half, maybe a full straightaway away from lap traffic. But the way these guys are beating on each other back here in the field, Marty, I don't know if we're going to stay green.
That could get interesting for Scott Rayone. We'll just have to see what happens. We continue on with a battle for third between the two teammates. Bachman trying to close in. You also have a great race for seventh. Logan Wentz has made his way back up through the field as he tries to get past Trent Verstraeten for the spot if he can. Next driver he'll target is Michael Vitale. 6 laps to go, coming to 5 this time, Zach.
Yeah, Isaac's going to go to the top shelf now. He's going to search for a little grip up there, but it's so far away around that if he didn't gear his car or just rip that top and keep her at high speed, he's just not going to be able to do it, and he's given up. He's gone back down.
And now Bachman decides to test the top. Doesn't work out for him either. 4 laps to go. Meanwhile, at I-55, Scott Rayome still leads. Biggest gap anyone has had tonight over second. 1 second over Brandon Templeton.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he's going to lift off the gas here anytime soon. That 4 is quick. He's quick in heat race number 1, started on the pole, and I mean, man, that 4:44, he's in his own area code tonight.
2 sticks in the air, 2 laps to go.
Ooh, they're 3 wide. Logan Wentz, Trent Verstraeten, Randall Dixon. Oh!
Final lap is underway. Scott Rayome in the Full Throttle Motorsports Super Dirt Car Series number 4 makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. Checkers wave. Scott Rayome takes the win at I-55. Second, Templeton. Third, Giroux. Fourth is Salas. Fifth, Sam Bachman. Michael Vitale from 21st up to 6th tonight. Scott Rayome with his first win of the season.
Yeah, in dominating fashion.
Looking at the results here for tonight, Rayome wins by 1.4 seconds on B-Temp. There's a look at the top 10. Here's a look at the rest of the field here for tonight. Good charge from Pat Boyce and Randall Dixon. That is how the field looks. So Scott Rayome gets the win. We will talk to him in just a moment. Need to do some extra search here real quick. I didn't have the standings up on my end. There's something I want to confirm here before we get locked and loaded here with the interviews. All right, that was the 6th career win for Scott Rayome in coast-to-coast action. And so I think we're just about set to go with the interviews. Yes, we are. We'll begin with our 3rd place finisher, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. And let me see if I can move him in. There we go. Trevor, a nice run tonight there. How much fun was it racing at the end with your teammate?
Oh, that was awesome. It's always nice when you can, it's not even just Isaac, right? It's nice when you can run clean with these guys up here. I mean, Scott, Brandon, like those guys are pretty well respected in this league, so it's fun. It's always fun racing with them.
Was it a tough track to pass on tonight from your perspective? Yes, the drivers were all close together, but once we got all single filed out, was it tough to pass?
Yeah, I think it was. Like I was almost debating on trying the top there, and then Isaac went to the top, and he's like, no, don't even bother. So, Brandon actually he said it the best. It was rubber racing tonight, but honestly, I'm not complaining. It was really fun. There was like a couple grooves through the slick there that you could make work and get runs if you're running a little higher than the guy in front of you. So, it was a good track. We'll definitely take it.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Oh, just gotta thank all my guys, all the guys at Venom Racing. I love being part of this team and hope to be here for a while. Gotta thank everybody behind the scenes at C2C. You guys for doing the broadcast. It's awesome having you guys do this. Dean with the Super Dirt Car Series, JRB Designs. Yeah, that's it. Just everyone who makes this stuff possible. Thank you.
Alrighty, we'll let you go. Congratulations on a great run. Best of luck, hopefully, either in the Rebels or later this week.
Thanks, Marty.
So the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, gets third. Let's go to second place, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton. Zach, you've caught up with him.
Hey, Brandon, Shaggy up here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, you definitely had the pace for second, but just talk to us about. I mean, you couldn't really keep up with Scott. It didn't seem like, but let's be honest. Even if you got to him, how hard was it to pass out there? It seemed like that the rubber had taken in the middle of the corners, and it was so quick there in that bottom middle groove.
Yeah, it really just slicked off and dried off, so much in practice and heats that there wasn't much there in the feature. I kind of thought it might be okay, but as soon as that middle was there, like the last couple heats, I was just a little bit nervous it might be that way. And you could start feeling it. Like I was going down the backstretch and my little delta indicator was going green every time. Like I was getting faster than the lap, faster. So I figured it was taking rubber. But yeah, I didn't ever hear the guy warn me about my tires, and I didn't look at them. I think Scotty said he was in the 70s or something, but you could feel it. It was hooked up down there in the middle, and there was some rubber. But if you didn't go out of it or do anything crazy, just kind of bring it home. I guess that was my plan when I realized the track conditions. So we'll take it.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about. We saw you on the first two double file restarts. You got stuck on that high side, but the last one, you're back on the bottom, made it count. How difficult were those restarts when you were stuck on the high side?
Yeah, it was a little bit tough. I mean, when I was there, it was early in the race, so there was still a little bit up top or 3/4. There was just a little bit of dirt still there that wasn't slicked off. So I was trying to hit that and just keep the bottom guy from being able to come up and clear you. Is about all you can do is just kind of just get every inch you can and keep him fighting for it and let him back off in the straightaways, and eventually one of you's got to fall.
Well, great job tonight, Brandon. Got that middle step of the podium. Who you want to thank, my man?
I got to thank Jay with the Dirt Track Bank, Got Your Six Racing Network, Joe Halter, Mission 22, Extreme Images, Maley's Makery, Hogan Lawn and Landscaping. You guys for putting on an awesome broadcast and stream here on Monday nights. And everyone, Flatline Racing Bodies, everybody that helps sponsor the leagues, supports these divisions. Thanks for doing it. And thanks for keeping us going.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. Oh, yeah. He's the man. I love that guy.
He must have just backed out.
He bailed on us. It's all right. I love that guy.
He pulled
Smooth criminal.
He pulled a Sheldon Hodenshield, said the sponsors, and boom, walked out the door. So, all right, let's talk with your race winner here in the number 4. And I guess I got to call him this from now on because it's his Discord name. Slide Job Scotty. Scott Rayom gets it done, although he didn't need a slide job. He led every lap here tonight. Scott, what a run tonight, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take me through how the car was tonight and being able to hold off both Brandon Templeton and I guess Sam Bachman as well at the same time.
Well, I mean, these guys, we tweak on these setups so much that Swan Speed Shop has these things dialed right in. And I mean, owe it to him, all the other guys over at FTM that just gave me a awesome car. You know what? I'm gonna quote Matt Shepard at Land of Legends this week. When you start on the pole and you have a car like that, it's almost like a gimme. Not saying that these other guys definitely couldn't have been there, but this car was incredibly fast tonight. I just go into the corner, get it set over onto the right side, and just ease into the gas and just drive off the corners.
I think you may have just touched. I think you may have just touched on this a little bit. But what do you like about this track as a whole?
I kind of compare it to Lanier, a cookie cutter, and I'm good at Lanier. I'm good here. I tell those guys all the time that I suck, and they always get a joke out of it. But it's just throttle control. Even in 358, when the track gets that slick, there's always that little patch of grip that you can find. And if you can get your right rear into that little bit and just ease onto the gas while you're in it, you're going to get that drive off. We all had different gear in. I think I had a 612. I know Clay was down into like the 596s. So I mean, we were all experimenting with that a little bit, but I mean, it helps when you start on the pole. I mean, clean air pretty much the entire race definitely was a major factor for that.
Well, great run tonight, man. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
I got to thank everybody over at Full Throttle Motorsports, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, Dean Super Dirt Car, DJ Sim Shop, you guys for another awesome broadcast every week, man. I tune in, whether I ran the race or not. I always go to watch. All the guys over at, I never think to thank these guys, but all the guys that are behind the scenes over at Coast to Coast, they obviously work their tails off, and it's pretty cool that they give us a place to race like this. And last but not least, I got to thank my fiance Heather for, again, buying me this computer back at Christmas time. That's the reason why I'm sitting here right now, because went from a gaming laptop to an actual gaming computer, and that's made the world of difference.
Well, we'll let you go, Scott. Great job. And yes, the PC stuff can help too. So credit to the significant other for that. Congratulations on the win, and hopefully see you in the Rebels tonight.
I don't know about all that craziness, but appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Well, hey, you get a win at least, so.
That's right.
So Scott Rayom gets the win here tonight. We do have a points update, by the way, courtesy of our man Patrick Spangler. And let's see here. Isaac Salas with a 40-point lead on Sam Bachman. So gap just about the just about the same, but they were able to increase obviously on Kurt Schatzer for tonight. We'll step aside. First break tonight. When we come back, we got Rebels action. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We are getting set to go for Rebels action here at I-55, and we got a pretty good car count once again, a full field with us here tonight, Zach.
Yeah, literally a full cars. It looks like we had 25 guys registered, but I believe one disconnected. So as of now, I got the full 24, and there's gonna be some good guys. And if it's anything like that last race, it's gonna be tough to pass. So gonna have to work on your setup, and you're really gonna have to predict what the track's gonna be like, because we're gonna have a lot of wear and tear between now and when that feature starts.
Absolutely. So right now, Chad Griggs is currently the quickest at a 10:57. Wow. I always forget how quick I-55 is here. So 10:57 for Chad Griggs as things stand. 10:70 Andy Patton, Greg Parmalee third, J.J. Odell fourth, Corey Denson in fifth. So qualifying currently underway at the moment. Let's see, who is the first driver we'll take a look at. Let's bring up Hunter Grant, Joseph Grandy, and the Inferno Motorsports number 518. Been 2 minutes for qualifying. As we get things all settled here, Grandy the one to set the bar here at a 11:71, 11:71. Patton second, Parmalee third. Chatham bumps up to second. Chatham quickest of everyone in sector number 2. Isaac Salas jumps up to 7th quick. Slower lap for Grandy on lap number 2. Gavin Chatham, though, looking pretty quick at the end of his second lap. 11:86 for him. Jack Griggs, though, goes quick time at 11:62 on lap number 1. 1:1615 for the 27.
It gets into the wall in 3 and 4, so lap 1's going to have to be the one to do it. But, man, that 27, he's always got some speed under that hood.
Got some drivers still on the racetrack. Zach Neubauer 16th. Jonathan Dolly 9th on lap number 1. 11:94 for the driver of the number 74. Here comes Dolly off the corner. A much better lap for him. Where does he wind up? 5th. 11:84 for him. One more driver left to qualify. It's the Goose, Chad Cote. Lap 1, a 12 even.
Yeah, and doesn't improve on lap number 2, and he's going to be that first guy looking in from the outside here.
So as we look at things here, if we got this correct, Patton, Lawson, and McLaren will start on the pole position. Unless this goes 4 heats, then it's Cote, Verstraeten, Parmalee, and Bixler. It's a little something to keep in mind. So here we go for heat race number 1. The Goose, Chad Cote on the pole. JJ, the jet plane Odell, is next to him in the front row. Jonathan Dolly inside row 2. Next to him, Chad Griggs in the 27. Row number 3, Zach Neubauer in the 52. And the captain, Gary Taylor, in the 34. Rounding out the grid tonight, Steve Maurer. He's in the 888.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Marty. I forgot about that extra car registering at the beginning, and that pushed us over the line. So 4 heats in this bad boy tonight.
So ready to go for our first heat race. Winner starts on pole tonight. Let us know who you're rooting for. Grandy said, by the way, about 10 minutes ago, slicked off track helps too when on the pole. And you definitely see this track is slicking up for sure. So Cote and Odell making up the front row here for tonight. The drivers will do 2 pace laps this time, not the normal one like we normally do. And we are set to go green. Cote and Odell wing to wing off the corner. And the jet plane comes out with advantage, but Chad Griggs follows him, wasting no time to move up to second. Everyone liking to go high, wide, and handsome at the moment. 3 wide for the second spot. Chad Cote thinks about threading the needle. He may shift back up to the outside, and that is the case. JJ Odell still leads, but a lot of company behind from Chad Griggs, Zach.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see everyone go to the top. I mean, we saw Chad Griggs qualify. There he goes. Qualified P1 running the bottom, and he had the bottom open there the last lap, but decided to stay up high. But now he decided, hey, I'm going to show everyone where the speed's at, and I'm going to take over P1.
For the race lead, Griggs working the Lacey line off at turn number 4. Can't get the lead quite just yet. Both lines have their magic ways here, Zach, but all depends on how you hit it.
Yeah, I think right now there's just so much tack, especially in the middle of 1 and 2, that if you're smooth, you hit it. But JJ's showing how thin that cushion is already on entry, and man, he jumped it, got in the wall. Able to hold on to P2 for now.
Yeah, the jet plane got up into the wall as you see the lap times on your screen. Two laps to go. Good race for third as well. Dolly and Cote going at it down the back. Cote, longer way around, looking for second. Had a great exit there that time, Zach, with 1 to go. And a beautiful exit from the 11 Goose. As the I'm sorry, the check is already out. Holy cow. That was it?
Yeah, I thought you were maybe a lap behind, so that's why I was quiet there.
I had a Brent Stover moment. That's what happened. That was Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Heat Race number 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Here's the starting lineup. Trent Verstraeten starts on pole position, the 88. The General Andy Patton next to him in the 87. Row 2, Clay Christopherson in the 51. And 100 grand, Joseph Grandy next to him in the 518. Final row for tonight, Corey Denson in the 91 and Tyler Flynn in the 831.
You got to think if Trent Verstraeten was paying attention in heat number 1, he's going to be tough to get around. You got to stay plugged to that bottom here. You You can't give it up until you see a guy rip that lip and go around you. You got to stay committed to what you know is fast.
It seems to me like the bottom comes in after the first lap or two. Like the early set of laps, you want to be on the outside. That bottom will come in throughout the night. It's starting to get faster and faster. We'll see what happens. Winner on the outside of the front row.
Green, green, green.
As the field stacks up, we're green.
Andy Patton got a little squirrely on the entry to turn 1 and 2 there, and Joseph Grandy wasted no time. He moves up to P3, but Andy Patton not going to give up on that high side just yet.
We want to try to get to the bottom as quick as they can. You saw Tyler Flynn peek his nose on Joseph Grandy for a second. That didn't work, and he actually took out Joseph Grandy and also collects Corey Denson, who does a small cartwheel. Luckily, everyone makes the show. Tyler Flynn in 4th, Andy Patton 2nd, Christopherson 2nd, and Verstraeten in 1st with 2 laps complete.
Yeah, if you're Joseph Grandy, you're definitely going to be a little frustrated there. Is you got to kind of back up the corner here if you want to be real fast and hook up on that bottom. And, man, he just gets tagged from left field.
We have some time real quick. Let's take a look at the replay and show you what happened. Our Malcolm's Mills mill ready replay. Saw Tyler Flynn look low. That time doesn't work. Then he just sent it in way too deep. Like, no way he was going to make the corner. So Clay Christopherson with 2 to go. Was 200ths better than Trent Verstraeten. He's right there. Has pulled up to the tail tank of the 88. He's got a chance at this, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden he's right here. White flag in the air. Final time around. He's going to look high, maybe try to cut down, but I think he swung it in a little too high, Marty. Just not there yet.
That was a horrible 1 and 2 for Christopherson. May have to hail milling it off the corner. Cannot do it. Trent Verstraeten takes the win in Heat 2. Christopherson 2nd, Patton 3rd, Flynn 4th, Denson 5th, and Grandy 6th. Next heat race, Heat 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's a look at the starting lineup. Greg Parmalee on the pole position. He's in the number 4, and it's Brian Lawson next to him in the 9. Gavin Chatham inside row number 2 in the 99, and slide job, Isaac Salas in the 5 next to him. Final row tonight, the best man, Roger Craig in the 747, and Cale Bixler returns tonight in the 789. Great to see Cale back. How about that?
Yeah, you know, he had some speed in the warm-up charts. I mean, much different track here, and he hasn't been around in a while, so probably going to take a couple laps to adjust. But before we know it, Cale's going to be up here battling for top 5s.
So the field is just about good to roll off. We got 21 viewers checked in tonight. That's awesome to see. Let's see if we can hit 25 and maybe get as high as 30 tonight by the time we go to Renegades. So there's a short-term goal and a long-term goal for you all tonight. Again, glad you could join us here on Monday Night Madness. Mark Scala alongside Zach Chapman. 1 to green real quick. We have not talked about the points with you tonight. So let's get you a good idea of how that looks. And it's Chad Griggs that's been dominant. 398 to 330 on Gavin Chatham. J.J. Odell is 3rd with 315. 4th with 305 is Connor Ross. And 5th with 304 is Dan McLaren. Pace truck is in. Parmalee and Lawson bring us to green. Here we go.
Yeah, Brian Lawson caught sleeping a little bit on that start, and Gavin Chatham with a great start, going from 3rd to 1st by turn 3. Wow.
Same with Isaac Salas. He may go up 2 spots as well. Roger Craig goes around. He is in the 2nd position. Salas up 2, may go up 3. The high side's working really well for him, and I think Chatham just realized that he tries to cut his line off.
Yeah, you know, some of these guys, it's virtual racing, so they have the luxury of the mirror, and if you see that guy start gaining on you up top, you're going to go up and block it. But here comes Isaac, slide job with a big move, going to pinch it off, though.
Could go for the slide job, though, or else he would have hit the 99. Now shifts down to the inside. May not be the place you want to be, though. Halfway home this time, 4 up and 4 down.
Yeah, I think if you're Isaac, though, right now, P2, yeah, go back down to the bottom. You got nothing to lose, kid. It was quick early on, and you made up a little bit of time there in 1 and 2. Feel free to run a mixture. Go high 3 and 4, bottom 1 and 2.
Good race for third as well. Lawson underneath on Parmalee and takes away the third spot. Parmalee in the wall. That last time by, though, for the leaders. Chatham, quickest driver in this race, 12:07 to a 12:09 for Salas, 2 to go.
Yeah, that just shows if you do it right. I mean, Isaac ran a different line, almost exactly even, but now Isaac just feeling the pressure, going to go back up to the top here, and he looks to have made up some ground on the 99.
Yeah, 12:03 that last lap. Sends it with a slide job at 11:97 last time by. He took the risk. It didn't pay off. One final gamble at 3 and 4. He lets Chatham have it.
Yeah, and
Great
you
finish.
You gotta love it from the kid, but hindsight's 2020. Probably should have ran the high side in 1 and 2 and went for a big send in 3 and 4. But you gotta love the aggressiveness out of the 5. He's gonna be a contender tonight.
Completely agree. And so we will have a heat race number 4. I wonder how this is going to work with the B main and stuff. If they're going to skip the B main or we have a free practice session or something like that. I'm not too sure. So
I would imagine the latter, probably a free practice session, unless they tell everyone not to grid and skip it. That's going to be a hard thing to miss.
yeah, if you're going to skip it, though, it's going to take a lot of time to go for. Steve Bixler on pole position next to Dan McLaren in the 88. Mayer on the pole and Soupy on the outside. Kyle Fahey outside of row number 2. Next to him, it's Dylan Berg making his debut with the Rebels in the number 14. Row number 3, Pat Boyce, the 41, and Bud Molyneux next to him in the 883. Gotta tell you what, that's an impressive paint job off of Berg. I like that A&J Custom Creations paint scheme.
Yeah, you know, when you're a newer guy, you got to make a statement, and he certainly made one. That's a fly paint job. Right now, if you're Steven Bixler, what do, Marty? You see the high sides coming in. Now you're trapped on the bottom. You got to make a big move in 1 and 2.
Well, we'll see what happens. Winner starts on the outside of row number 2 tonight. The Mayer and McLaren bring us to green. Here we go. Clear-cut advantage off the corner to McLaren. Edges out by a half a car length in front. Meanwhile, Dylan Berg underneath. Oh, look out. Bixler in the wall after contact from Fahey. And collects Pat Boyce as well. Everybody hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, all of a sudden, 2-man show out front is, barring a big mistake, Kyle Fahey's going to finish P3. But if Dylan's got anything, he's got to go hunting because, well, now as soon as I say that, Dan goes back down to the bottom in 3 and 4, but I was going to say he's given up the preferred line.
Well, this gives us a chance to see what Dylan Berg has against the competition right now, and in a one-on-one showdown right now. He's never raced against these guys in the past. Now we'll see what he has against some of the top guns.
If he could work on that throttle control a little bit on the exit of 2, he's got a hot rod right now. He's very fast, but just getting a little too sideways in the middle of 1 and 2, but he's going to send it here.
He had a really good exit like David Gravel had at Weed Sport last week for the race lead. Slide job from Berg, gets it to work. McLaren tries the crisscross, 2 to go. He lets Soupy have it. Berg crisscrosses once again like it's a croissant sandwich, and Berg to the point, and he defends. McLaren tried the chrome horn on him, and Berg finds a way to save it. And that, my friends, is how you make a statement that you've arrived in coast to coast. Dylan Berg, first race, first heat win.
Yeah, and he had to earn that. I mean, Dan McLaren went in there, got a little rough with him going into 3, and Dylan had to hold on, and he was able to.
Fahey third, Boyce fourth, Bixler fifth. And so we will have a free practice session. Again, everyone will make the show. Molyneux disconnected. So we will have 8 drivers with us here tonight. Here's how the lineup looks. Zach Neubauer, Corey Denson, row 1. Cale Bixler, Steven Bixler, row number 2. Gary Taylor, Joseph Grandy, row number 3. Roger Craig, Bud Molyneux, row 4. Steve Maurer rounds out the field starting in 9th. And again, no Bud Molyneux tonight, so we will have 5 drivers on the inside and 3 on the outside. Hey, while we are waiting here, I do want to take this opportunity to say something before we go. Green, he was an iRacer as well. You probably, if you're from New York, you definitely heard the news earlier this week. A motorsports photographer, a good friend of mine, also an iRacer as well, Evan Canfield, passed away earlier this week. Definitely want to send our sympathies and our thoughts and prayers to the Canfield family with what they have going on. Evan was truly a freaking awesome dude to see at the racetrack. So all of us at Coast to Coast wish our thoughts and prayers to the Canfield family.
Yeah, it's not just these cars we love. It's the relationships and the people we meet that keep us coming back, Marty. And,
Exactly.
I can imagine losing a close friend like that. It's got to be tough. So thoughts are for you and the family right now.
Here we go for the green flag in the B main as Neubauer and Denson bring us to it.
Yeah, keep an eye out on this 518 here. He's mad. He got turned in his heat, and, well, there he goes. He's got 2 already, looking for 3.
Oh,
looking for maybe 4 here. That 518's on a mission.
He is driving to quote. Oh, no! Bixler got him. What a save. Cale Bixler to be specific. But Joseph Granny is driving to quote Lucius from Talladega Nights. He's driving like a peed-off teenager right now.
Yeah, he is coming here, but now that the front guys have had a chance to single out here and they've gotten their bearings, he doesn't have that early jump on him. And now Joseph, he's going to have to really work for it here. Steven Bixler, he's got some speed in that 75.
Here comes a run from Grandy around the outside to take away third. He's got it. Next guy, Corey Denson in the 91. Back downstairs, takes away second from him. A 12:36 last time by, clips the wall. Can't be doing that, that's for sure. Now Neubauer is running. It's matching his pace at the moment here, Zach.
Yeah, you got to love that, though. The guys in 3rd and 4th, you know, when they saw that 518 come with those big runs, they said, you know what, we're not going to counter back. You go ahead. You go. We'll watch you go work on them.
Oh,
they
boy,
know
though.
that guy's coming, and wow, he got the fishing pole out, Marty.
12:27 last lap. This time by a 12:21 to a 12:72. Joseph Grandy, oh my goodness. From 6th to the lead and now leading with 2 laps to go.
And he knows he's still going to have to start 17th in this feature if he holds onto the win here. But if anybody can do it, that 518 can, as you're seeing. When he drives like this, he's in a class of his own.
He could be going for a hard charger award tonight. He wants to be going for the win in the feature. And through 3 and 4 in the B main, Joseph Grandy.
That was easy.
If you just heard it, that was easy. We just hit the easy button on that one as 100 grand wins the Last Chance Showdown. Alrighty, we will step aside and go to break. When we come back, the Rebels feature on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Rebels Division on the Coast to Coast Racing League Network, presented by Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting.
Getting set to go for our feature. We're just about halfway through the warm-up session. Isaac Salas, the quickest driver on track at 12:62. Trent Verstraeten second at a 12:30. Make it Chad Cote to the top now at a 12:18. Verstraeten third at a 12:30. Dan McLaren fourth, 12:31. Joseph Grandy and Chad Griggs tied for fifth at a 12:36. And we just saw some big calamity on the front straightaway here, Zach. Oh, it's getting worse now. Oh, boy.
Yeah, case of when you get wrecked, you let the frustration bug go and you don't necessarily tow at a high pace. I've been in those shoes. It's real funny though, you talked right as soon as you mentioned Chad Cote, you got that quick time, Marty, and I switched my camera over to him. As soon as he set that quick time, he moved back down to the bottom. He said, I don't want to show anyone how I did that. If they want to find it, they can go back and look at the replay. He's just going to go down here and take it easy now.
Hey, I don't blame him for going back down there.
No, you can't show your hand.
As Kenny Rogers once said, you got to know when to hold him and know when to fold him and know when to walk away. I probably shouldn't be singing that or else we get copyrighted.
I think we're good if we personally sing it in our own voice. But
yeah,
we may not want to push the boundaries.
I'm not bad an imitator, though, I will admit. So, all right, let's get ready to go here for our second feature tonight. The Rebels Division ready to go. Here is the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, Chad Griggs of the 27 and Trent Verstraeten next to him in the 88. Row number 2, Gavin Chatham in car number 99, and Dylan Berg in the 14. Row 3, the jet plane, J.J. Odell in the 38, and Clay Christopherson in the 51. Row 4, slide job, Isaac Salas in the 5, and Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88. Rounding out the top 10 tonight, the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11, and the General, Andy Patton in the 87. Row 6, Brian Lawson in the 9, and Kyle Fahey in the 16. Row number 7, Jonathan Dolly in the 74, and Tyler Flynn next to him in the 831. And in row 8, Greg Parmalee, he's in car number 4, and Pat Boyce next to him in the 41. Row 900 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518, and Zach Neubauer in the 52. Row number 10, Corey Denson in the 91, and the Mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75. Row 11, Steve Maurer, he's in the 88. And the captain, Gary Taylor, next to him in the 34. Final row tonight, the Bassman, Roger Craig in the 747, and Cale Bixler in the 789. Picks to win, I'm going with Chad Griggs from the pole.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going with the new guy. Love the paint job. Let's go get him, Dylan. Let's see what you got.
All righty. We'll see what he's got then.
And once again, I know we highlighted him very heavy in that B main, but man, keep an eye out on that 518 because when he drives PO'd, Marty, he is in a class of his own, and he is going to get that thing towards the front.
Ready for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. 30 laps for the Rebels. Top 5 transfer to Renegades, depending on IO. Griggs and Verstraeten bring us to green to I-55. It's time to get it on. Side by side in the turn number 3. Griggs or Verstraeten to lead lap number 1. Way too close to call. I think it was Griggs, though, with Berg in third.
Yeah, Griggs is finding tack down there that I didn't even know was there. He's struggling in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, he's got that thing on rails. And if he can send it in here, he's, man, he just loses it a little bit. Here comes Trent with a big run.
Caught the wall not just once, but twice. May lose third to Gavin Chatham. Trouble, Gary Taylor. Yellow lights are on, and Taylor is up on his side. Gonna have a replay to see what happened. Caught the wall, rode the fence. And partying on his side like it's 1999. On board with the captain. All right, so we're going to be coming back to green this time.
And you got to think if Lacey and Chapman are watching, they got big smiles on their face. Chad Griggs chooses the bottom here. It's hard to work, man, but he loves that bottom side.
Green flag is back out. Good racing for third. Chatham and Berg for straight and clips the wall. So Griggs able to hold serve here. Some drivers shift up top. We're under another yellow. Tyler Flynn around in turn number 3. So we'll have one more chance at the double file restart here.
Yeah, and they're still wrecking. We got a guy flipped over on the front
That's
stretch.
Kyle Fahey, I believe, in the number 16. Share a couple replays here. Let's go to Flynn first, as he was the cause of the caution.
Oh, and Fahey just lifts for the caution and gets nailed.
So slows up, and Pat Boyce, he eats him, and up and over went the 16. Saw Steve Maurer and Roger Craig jump to a stop. Nice job by both of them to miss, but then again, Craig and Maurer are salty dogs, so they like to stick together. All right, one more double file restart here. Great jump from Griggs. Look at Dylan Berg underneath. He wants the second position from the 88, but Dan McLaren also wants a spot. Has to back out or else he would have taken out Gavin Chatham. Clay Christopherson also in this battle as well. He runs in 6th. Great racing, though, for the 3rd spot, Zach.
Yeah, Dylan just got in the outside wall as Dan McLaren. Oh, he goes to shut the door, but Dan just kept his nose there, and he's got enough room to make it work.
Nearly 3 wide behind them with Salas, Chatham, and Christopherson. Can McLaren clear for 3rd, trying to, but we got a race for the lead. Here comes Verstraeten around the outside in turn 4, riding it up on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies and takes it on lap 8.
Yeah, and this is where if you're Chad, I don't think you're really worried. You know, you've been running the bottom the whole time. You've been nice and easy on those tires, and if that guy wants to work hard to get around you this early, let him. You're saving it, and you can go back at him in a couple laps.
You saw Verstraeten kiss the wall there, actually kissed our camera angle. Yellow, Andy Patton. Upside down in turn number 2. So we'll see what happens here. If I were to guess, this should mean single file the rest of the race. He catches the wall, no steering, and just like Gary Taylor, off the fence and on his side.
Yeah, and you know, before we were able to get back to that start-finish line, Marty Trent Verstraeten barely edged out Chad Griggs, so we do have a new race leader for this restart.
That can be big, especially with this, I believe, going to single file restarts the rest of this one.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I didn't think about him going to single file, but it should be 3 cautions here, and if they do, Trent Verstraeten, he gets to go wherever he wants on this restart, and they are single file.
So we'll watch this restart from our aerial shot. Verstraeten wanted to go even before the pace truck went in as we're back to green. Now let's watch Dan McLaren here closely. Different groove than Chad Griggs. Will it work off of turn 2? It does, side by side for just a moment. But Griggs likes the bottom here. And I-55 edges out McLaren for the 2nd spot.
Yeah, you know, hats off. He's staying committed, but man, that bottom, it's just going away. And if you're Chad Griggs, you got to move on up, and he finally does.
Yeah, Griggs shifted up just in front of Gavin Chatham. Here's a look at the 5-lap average of the moment. Griggs tries to go higher for the position, but he left the door open for Gavin Chatham to try and take the bottom step of the podium. And Chatham moves up to the 3rd spot.
That cushion's so dangerous on the exit of 2 that the Trent, he just slipped up and now Dan McLaren.
Oh, look out, look out, look out! Gary, what are you doing? That was nearly dangerous. Trent Verstraeten in the wall. The yellow flag waves. Not what McLaren wanted. Wow, that was very close to being dangerous for the leader. So something happened to Gary that we didn't see, so apologies for that. Caught off the back of Fahey in the wall around on his side. No caution because nobody was catching him. And he was actually able to keep it straight. Decided not to go for caution. It actually made contact with Verstraeten. And then Taylor gets into Dylan Berg. And then Taylor, same thing as what happened in the first caution, gets on his side.
Yeah, I mean, it's real easy to call Gary a dummy there and say, hey, what are you doing? But, man, in all reality, you getting involved spinning around like that, it's a wonder the caution didn't come out. And then he doesn't want to sit still right in front of the leaders who are about to come into turn 3. And, man, he does his best to hold his line. But as damaged as that car was, it just wasn't really possible. And,
yeah,
I mean, Gary rocking a hard place there.
Yeah, Gary was just trying to limp that 34 back, then just had nowhere to go. All right, we're coming to halfway. Verstraeten, luckily, still remains the race leader. It's Dylan Berg trying to rebound after the contact he had with the captain, Isaac Salas. Testing the top, ripping the fence. And Clay Christopherson decides to follow him. Chatham, meanwhile, wants a peek at second from the 88 of McLaren. Couldn't get it to work through that time. Now can Chad Griggs peek underneath. He's got a chance at third here. Salas, meanwhile, nearly Hail Melons it, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac, he knows he's got to find a way around. And if the guy's in front of running the middle, you got to make something else work. And he's going to go up there and swing it as high as he can. But it's just so treacherous on the exit of 2 that you got to back out of the throttle and you lose a lot of time. But our leader's running into trouble again here, Marty.
Yeah, the leaders approach Gary Taylor once more. This could get interesting. Verstraeten this time has no issues. Taylor stays on the bottom. Everyone keeps up top. Chad Griggs has to slow up just a little bit. Clay Christopherson nearly hits the 270. But now more traffic for Verstraeten. That's, I believe, Tyler Flynn. The leaders are approaching.
And Soupy got in the wall. He lost P3 to Gavin Chatham.
A great point. That was actually Cale Bixler in the 789 that the leaders are dealing with. 10 laps to go. Meanwhile, in our feature, and Verstraeten has opened up the lead big time. 1.3 seconds on Gavin Chatham. Verstraeten is just hoping the final laps of this one to stay green.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But a guy who doesn't want it to stay green is that 518
oh,
and Joseph Grandy.
Boy, that was tight. Christopherson and Griggs touched wheels, and somehow the full throttle 51 hung on for dear life. Some really good racing. Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah,
oh, no!
Oh, big wreck.
Gary Taylor, Tyler Flynn, Greg Parmalee. And we have a late race caution with just over 5 laps to go. Let's show you what happened to the captain. Lost it in front. Nope. Him and Tyler Flynn made contact in front of Greg Parmalee. Just light contact, and Parmalee absolutely nowhere to go. So 6 to go. Do you think Gavin Chatham's got a chance here, Zach Chapman?
Yeah, I really do. Honestly, Marty, that's what I was about to say when that caution came out, that Gavin was slowly reeling him in. And, Man, this is exactly what the leader did in one here. If Gavin gets a good restart and doesn't give himself too much ground to make up, he's got a quick car right now, but he's got to ace this start.
There will be 6 laps of racing to go here. And Verstraeten trying to check out of the hotel. Wasting no time. Has it about a car length and a half over Gavin Chatham into turn number 3. Field stays single file. First driver on the outside, Clay Christopherson. 5 to go, Zach.
Yeah, another caution out, and that was the best restart Gavin could have asked for. He's going to have a tough time doing it again.
And it sounds like it involved Tyler Flynn, and I'm hearing as well Dylan Berg was involved in something. Before we got back to the green flag, let's show you what happened to Dylan here. So Dylan was in the back. I think he may have used a quick repair or something. But this was the cause of the yellow, Tyler Flynn.
It gets into it with the Bass man.
And Craig nearly went over off the tail tank, and from that, it looks like Tyler Flynn picked up 4X in that accident. It looked like he had 12 as well, so done for the day. So
Yeah,
Gavin
now if you're
with another
Gavin,
chance.
Yeah, if you're Gavin, you're just pleading with everyone. Guys, please behave. I'm going to run out of time. I got a fast car, but these cautions right now are the opposite. They're that 088. They're his best friend. If he keeps getting these cautions, it's going to be almost impossible to get past.
We'll see what happens. 4 laps remaining. Can Trent Verstraeten take it to victory lane? McLaren for second on Chatham. Just want McLaren's teammate wants to see. If that challenge happens, Verstraeten may come home scot-free to the end. But it doesn't work. McLaren loses the spot to 4th to Chad Griggs. A 4-car battle for the win with 3 to go, Zach.
Yeah, Chad Griggs is coming on, but man, it's just going to be a little too late here.
Verstraeten pushed up. Chatham side by side. The 88 kisses the wall with 2 laps to go. Verstraeten in the wall once again. Gavin Chatham to the lead at I-55. White flag in the air. McLaren gets a little sideways off for turn number 4. A 2 lap to go pass for Gavin Chatham in the Northeastern Outlaws. Number 99 through 3 and 4. Verstraeten spins at the end. Everybody goes crazy to the finish. Verstraeten comes home in the 9th position. Everyone's gone crazy. Chatham the winner, Griggs second, McLaren third, Salas 4th, and Joseph Grandy is in the show from 17th to 5th. Well, there is a lot to clean up there after this one.
Yeah, that 088, he is not going to be a happy camper. I mean, let's be honest, he's only got himself to blame for losing the win, but man, a little different story to tell there going through 3 and 4 on the final lap.
Clay Christopherson's going to be fuming too because he had a spot in the show.
Yep, yeah, took 2 good cars out of the top 5 there, and you know, that's going to happen. Good hard racing on the last lap, but man, you got to almost expect a little something back next week.
Chad Griggs got put up on his side, so that's why he's not in the podium shot. But that will be an interesting conversation with Griggs to talk about with him, the championship points leader. But Griggs still with a comfortable points lead at the moment. Grandy, as we mentioned, the hard charger. Pat Boyce and Corey Denson each finishing the top 10. Great runs from them tonight. Looking at 11 through 20 here on your screen. J.J. Odell looked like he had a good car going on tonight. Just unfortunately didn't make it to the end. Finished in the 14th position. And then the rest of the field, the heartbreak without question. Have to give it to Verstraeten as well as Christopherson. 2 drivers that looked like they were going to make their way into the show. Well, we've got 2 drivers, especially our 3rd place driver. That's who we're going to get started with. So, Dan McLaren, your 3rd place finisher, Zach, it's all you, buddy.
Hey, Soupy. Well, little iRacing insider. After last night, I'm probably the last person he wants to talk to. But
oh
damn,
boy,
man, the big P3, man. Congratulations. How's it feel, brother?
Feels good. I'll take happy with a third. You know, considering the competition around me, man, these guys are fast. They're hard to race, and yeah, I'm happy with a third.
No, I mean, Dan, let's. I know you're modest here, but let's be honest. You were battling there for second too, but all those cautions at the end, they had to be a little frustrating, didn't they?
Well, for sure. I mean, teammate Trent and I were, running 1-2. Feels, that's when you're running 1-2 with your teammate. That's awesome. But yeah, definitely wasn't the greatest at the end, and some conversations will be had afterwards. But yeah, all in all, I think that was a good race.
No, man. I mean, little bull ring. You got to expect some fireworks to fly, and at the end of the day, you're able to hold your own and survive the mayhem through 3 and 4 on the last lap and come away with that final step of the podium. So, congratulations, Dan. We're going to see you try to carry over some momentum here into the A race.
Oh, for sure. I'll do my best in that one and have a lot of fun. But yeah, I just got to thank you guys putting on these broadcasts. All the fellows at Venom Racing, helping each other with the setups and whatnot. It's always a fun thing to do. And Roger and everybody behind the scenes for the league.
A hell of a job here tonight, Soupy, and looking forward to talking to you again here after the next one. Go get him, man.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
So Dan McLaren with a third place finish here tonight. Let's go to our second place finisher, and we'll speak with him, Chad Griggs. Chad, a great run. Before I get to any of the positives in the race, I do need to ask you on that race for second at the end, what happened?
I don't really know. I would first and foremost apologize to Trent. I had done something under caution that had been giving me a little bit better grip there on that last little short run, and going in there, I don't drive like that. I wouldn't want second place, and I wouldn't want to get it that way, certainly. But I got a little bit of grip. I found a little bit of grip, and he was a little bit slower, and so I tried to maneuver to the outside of him, and I don't know if I misgauged it or a combination of misgauging, going to his outside a little bit, and maybe he spun the tires. I don't know. But regardless, I apologize to him 100% and take the blame. I don't even want positions if I got to get them that way, and I don't normally race that way on purpose at all.
You're a class act, that's for sure, Chad. I know you race with a lot of respect out there. How did you feel about your car, though, as a whole tonight?
I don't know. I didn't have any time to practice this week at all, and another track that I'm not really that good at. So I just really tried to kind of hang in there and just kind of be around at the end, and was able to find a little bit more speed there at the end, but I feel like a little bit of practice on it this week might have helped me, but we'll take it and move on. But again, the most important thing is I apologize to Trent for that. I don't race like that, and I don't want to take any spots by that happening.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Thank my guys, Scott Thomason Racing, all my teammates over there for helping me. A couple of them were trying to help spot me tonight. Unfortunately, they couldn't help me with my mess up there at the end. But thank you guys for the broadcast. You guys do a great job. Roger for the league, and Josh Whiteman with Finish Line Race Designs for my paint jobs.
All right, man. Great job tonight, and hopefully we'll see you in the Renegades.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So Chad Griggs, your second place finisher. You definitely understand his frustration tonight after controversy at the end. Let's go to your winner with a 2-lap to go pass for the win. Gavin Chatham. Zach, you've caught up with him.
Yeah, hey, Gavin, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what. About that with 2 restarts to go there, about 7 to go. You got an excellent jump. You were right behind Trent. And then what do you know it? Another immediate caution. And then on the next final restart, Dan McLaren looks low on you in 1 and 2. And, well, you had to get a little defensive. And battle him off. Did you think at that point that you were going to be able to run that 088 down and get him?
Yeah. I mean, I felt. I mean, Dan knows what he's doing, and he's pretty good on the bottom there. Definitely got a good start, but I was pretty confident in being able to get that top of the roll. And on top of that, I felt like I was better than Trent. I was running like that middle top, and I thought that I could get around because he was running middle bottom, and then he switched his lineup on that restart. Once I cleared Dan, I just dove to the middle bottom there. I was able to get some good bite, and I think Trent tapped the wall there a little bit, which helped out a lot. But yeah, I was just trying to do whatever Trent wasn't doing because you're not going to pass him sitting behind him. So, but he was running a good race there, and it sucks that he tapped the wall there. It looks like we're going to have a good battle for the win there. But all in all, it turned out really well for us, and definitely take another win for sure.
Yeah, heartbreak for that 088 tapping the wall. But, I mean, right before that caution came out that I was talking about, I was just plugging away at how you were running down the leader. And, I mean, you truthfully, Gavin, you had the fastest car tonight. And you maybe didn't get it the way you thought you had to, but it fell in your lap and able to get it there with 2 to go. So congratulations, my man. Who you want to thank on the big win?
I just want to thank you guys for doing an awesome job with the broadcast, Coast to Coast Racing, all the sponsors, everybody involved, admin, everybody behind the scenes, everybody that helps put this league on and let us come out here and race. I just want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, and Miller Time Motorsports. Thank you all sponsors. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching and supporting this league, and hopefully put on a good show for y'all each and every week. And I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out. And I got to get a shout out to Clay for he made the right call on the gear on that one, and that was definitely the right call. I give a shout out for Clay on this one.
Well, speaking of the fans here, you going to give them some more, Gavin? You going to step back out of the trailer for the Renegades race?
Yeah, we're still searching for that first Renegades win. So we might have the car tonight, as long as everything, racing's you got to be good, but you got to be extra lucky. And I don't know what's in the water tonight. There's a lot of people out there that are making very aggressive moves out there. So we'll see, but maybe it'll fall in our laps again, and we'll be in victory lane. All
right, man, go out there, give them hell. We're rooting for you.
Nah, thanks, guys.
Gavin Chatham, the winner here tonight, as he's in Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. We're going to step aside, take a break. When we come back, Renegades time on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us. And we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in an on-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as we get set to go at I-55 for the good old-fashioned Renegades, as we've got 23 drivers with us here this evening. Excuse me, we're looking forward to this one. Welcome you back in the booth here, Marty Sakala alongside Zach Chapman. Got a points update for the Rebels. After that one, Chad Griggs with a 68-point advantage on Gavin Chatham. And so those are the two that are pretty much still in the battle for the championship. Some other things to keep in mind here in the Renegades, just taking a look here at the notes here coming on in. Blake Chapman with the drops in effect, 14 points up on Patrick Spengler coming on in. Jesse Bandy is third. He is just under 40 points back. So the top 3 in the Renegade standings having a lot of fun this year early on.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best in the business. I mean, they go toe-to-toe every week, and I'm just impressed by how close those guys can race to each other and not touch. We see so many mistakes from other drivers, and, man, those 3 just, they come out clean as a whistle almost every time.
So qualifying officially underway. First driver we will watch, the number 31, Brandon Templeton. Again, 2 laps for the drivers to qualify, put up a time. As always, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Brandon Templeton sets the bar here on lap number 1 at 11:6:41. Tally Labari second, 11:75. Bob DeGood third, 11:76. Jack Hitt to second, 11:68. Second lap for B-Temp is also 11:64, but just a bit off. Quick time, Joseph Grandy hits an 11:567, better by about 700ths on B-Temp. At the line, he is off at 11:81. Jesse Bandy up to second quick. Blake Chapman fourth quick on lap 1 and 11:643. Gavin Chatham second, 11:614. Blake Chapman off the corner slower on lap number 2. Chatham's all done with his laps. Let's go to Patrick Spengler. Lap number 1, 11:71. He is 7th quickest. Here he comes across the line. Brennan Lacey now up to 7th. Spengler second quick at 11:573. Kurt Schatzer coming to the checkered flag. Does he have a better lap inside of him? He does not. Ross Corinna, the boss, up to 15th and 11:85. Bradway up to 12th after lap number 1 and 11:77. 30 seconds left here in qualifying. Does Corinna have a better lap? Possibly. He does. 11:76 up to 12th. Bradway to the checkered flag at 11:83 on lap number 2. Qualifying is done. 100 grand the quickest. 20 drivers make up the car count. So that means Brennan Lacey, Tally Ulibarri, Bob DeGood, and Ross Carina are the pole sitters for Heats 1. Or I'm sorry, Tally Ulibarri, Bob DeGood, and Ross Carina, because it's 3 heats. So.
Yeah, and look at that top 5, Marty. 3 Rebels drivers in that top 5, and I kind of slept on Grandy. I didn't even notice after that mayhem in 3 and 4 that he ended up coming home with a top 5. But good for Joseph Grandy. Big lap.
All right, so we're ready to go for heat race number 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, and it's Tally Ulibarri on pole position, as we mentioned. Next to him, the salesman, Blake Chapman, in car number 20. Row number 2, Gavin Chatham in the 99. Next to him, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row number 3, it's Brad Waite in the 814, and to his outside, it's Tyler Wilson, the Macho Man, in the 42. Final row tonight, Kurt Schatzer, Superman, the 218, and Barry Goldner in the 36. A lot of people definitely enjoying the close finish at the end, especially Gavin Chatham in the Rebels. So this could be a big one for Blake Chapman if he takes the win here in this heat race. Would start on pole position. Good chance to get track position here. Has this been common tonight in the Open 358s? You want to start on pole to lead the most laps. We nearly saw that in Rebels, obviously. Could it happen in Renegades tonight?
I don't know. This track, it just looks so much different than the last one. It looks like it's so slick on the straightaways, but yet there's so much tack in the corners. So really anxious to see how this one plays out.
Here we come to the green flag. Ulibarri and Chapman bring us down. Let's go. Ulibarri comes out with a good start. Can he clear Blake Chapman? Yes, he can. Nearly went 3 wide for the second position with Chatham and Grandy off a corner. Great exit for the salesman as he leads lap number 1. Chatham and Wilson just about touched. They had to back out of it or else the wreck would have broken out. Ulibarri and Grandy. Grandy wants that second spot back as they're nearly 4 wide off for 4, Zach.
Man, that 518's in a rocket ship tonight, Marty. He made up his way in the B feature, and now all of a sudden he's giving the salesman some heat on that rear end here. We're halfway, Marty. Or almost halfway. 1 lap shy, excuse me.
That's your battle for the race lead. Chatham is now reeled in. Ulibarri once more for the 3rd position. Extreme high side up to the attic. Tyler Wilson decides to come in, and he turns Tally Ulibarri. Nope, he didn't. What a save from the 19. I thought that car was wrecked, Zach.
Yeah, he got help on the entry of 1, and it got total sideways, but he was able to hang on. And now Joseph Grandy, did he run out of gas, Marty?
He did, I believe. Oh, my goodness. He had a good shot at pole. He kept the qualifying setup in. He did not use the heat setup or add enough fuel. And so Blake Chapman, with 1 lap to go, is going to start on pole position. That's not what you want if you were Patrick Spangler at the same time.
I mean, we know how hard Blake's going to be to beat tonight as he was dominant in heat race number 1.
Chatham 2nd, Schatzer 3rd, Ulibarri 4th, Waite 5th, Wilson 6th, Goldner 7th, and Goldner 7th and Grandy 8th. Let's go back. I'm gonna rewind this with iRacing and show you what happened with Grandy. Unfortunately, I can't rewind by lap because my program's acting a little bit weird. Yeah, that car just slowed up. Yeah, you can see the car. You saw how the front end just barely got off the ground. That meant it was starting to surge on him. So that's heat 1.
The high-side banger slapped my logo on that thing. Thank you, Patrick.
So we go to Heat 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. Hang on, he's got your logo down. I see my logo. Hey,
yeah,
look at
there
that.
We go.
We got
look
both
at
our
that.
logos. Slide Job Racing Network and Shaggy TV. How about it? Now he just needs the Booth Boys on one of the wing panels, or on the front wing. Now, buddy's
He knows how to get airtime.
He does. Heat 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. Bob DeGood on the pole in the 7. Gentleman Jack hit next to him in the 217. Row 2, the Bandybilt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39 next to him. Row number 3, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. To his outside, Randy Shreves the 56, rounding out the grid. The Money King, Kyle Moonen in the 24. Clay Christofferson not on the grid here tonight.
Yeah, I think he forgot that he had to finish in the top 5, and with that trouble in 3 and 4, wasn't able to finish in the top 5, so he had to leave the session.
So Grandy did confirm to us he forgot to swap sets. So 100 grand will have to go for another hard charger award tonight, possibly. All right, here we go. We're green. DeGood with a good start off at turn number 2. Hit, able to clear Jesse Bandy. Oh, look at Atkinson, nearly forced the 3 wide, had to back out of it. Had to get the car a little bit sideways because of it. Loses a bunch of time. Still wing to wing for second with Spangler on both the tails of Bandy and head, Zach.
Yeah, and you know, he's getting that high side to work, Marty. He's called the high side banger for a reason, but now the 217 of Jack hit slowed him down. He's countering back to the bottom.
Oh, they touch. But man, what a mess this is for second. Atkinson, the bumper on Spangler, not what he wants to deal with one bit. Patrick is down to 5th. Randy Shreves just got passed.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick kind of went out of necessity, got off with the line he thought was fastest, but now Randy Shreves, he's able to make it work, but they're 3 wide again.
This is some good stuff, and now Spangler fighting back. 11:83 on at the bottom. How about this? 3 laps to go. Bob DeGood still leads. Even when they're 3 wide for second, they are still catching Bob DeGood by 2/10. Hang on there, Mr. DeGood. You may want to drink some extra victory fuel to get those electrolytes with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, unbelievable. They've running this hard. They're still slowly creeping in, and now coming white flags in the air. Final time around.
Oh, boy. Bob DeGood's opening up for Patrick Spangler. This is going to be a dandy to the finish. Who's it going to be? DeGood, Spangler, or Shreves? Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob. Yes, Bob DeGood took it.
Let's go, Bob.
Oh, yeah, Bob. That was awesome.
Front row for Bob DeGood in the feature of the Renegades race. Let's go, Bob.
That is awesome. Good for him. One of those guys that you don't see up in the front often and gets the heat win barely on Spangler. By about, I think scoring said 0.07 of a second. I don't know. Heat 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's how they line up. On the front row, the boss, Ross Corinna in the 10. Brennan Lacey next to him in the 114. Row number 2, B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31. And next to him, Dan McLaren in the 88. Third row, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to the Professor, John Hine in the 71. Final driver on the grid, yoo-hoo, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. You got to watch out here for these Bandybilt drivers here tonight. Brendan Lacey's going to be a huge threat. I mean, the last time I believe we were at I-55, he's not on the entry list for tonight, but Steven Gollner was in a wreck, came from the back to the front to win it.
Yeah, I mean, this front row, this is phenomenal, though. I mean, if Brennan's got anything, he's got to go right away. We all know what Ross is capable of. He's got some speed in that 10 machine.
Green, green, green.
Here we go for the final heat race of the night. Green flag is out. 3-0, Templeton touches with McLaren. How did he save it? I don't know. Ross Corinna, meanwhile, leads lap number 1. Lacey and McLaren both on the tails of the leader. Oh, look out, look out, look out. Whoa! McLaren's got right front damage. How he saved it, I don't know. I don't think he realizes, though, the right front is bent.
Oh, and meanwhile, John Hine ripping the top here. He is making that come in. He's the first guy we've seen really make it work, but he kisses the wall going down the front stretch.
Brandon Templeton, quickest driver on track in 11:91. Lacey and oh, Templeton catches Lacey, and McLaren has nowhere to go, and now the car is toast. Jeff Barker also involved. You see McLaren's got front wing damage. It's all gone off the race car. But we watch the race with the lead, though, with 3 to go. Lacey's closed in on the 10.
Yeah, battle's all over the track. John Hine just got in the wall, and now all of a sudden the battle's heating up for P3. But Ross Corinna maybe went a little too high in 3 and 4. Ooh, man, big run, though.
2 laps to go. Lacey's got a good chance. Remember, we call him low line Lacey for a reason. Because when the low line is slick, he goes for it and makes it work. Winner starts inside of row number 2. He's got one last shot at it. Can he beat Corinna to the line? The answer is no. Corinna takes the win.
Man, he had a good 3 and 4. I think if he doesn't have a hiccup coming out of 2 there, he might have won that heat race. He's going to be kicking himself.
So preliminary action is done for the Renegades. And so when we come back, a 35-lap feature on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Raceway, they're lean, they're mean.
You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Renegades Division on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, presented by Dylan Westbrook Racing.
We're back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network as warm-ups continue. Bob DeGood, still the quickest in warm-ups at a 12:05, who just had the upset of the night, beating Patrick Spangler in a photo finish. You and I were texting our broadcast chat. Our buddies who are in Knoxville, they are like, come on, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins tonight, they're gonna make a 30 for 30 about this.
Yes.
There's no way they don't.
30 for 30. I love it. That was awesome. That's my favorite part of the night. That's for sure. So, all right. While we were at it, let's give you the schedule for the rest of the week and next week for Monday Night Madness. Tomorrow night, Shaggy Scott, the retreads. That should be a fun one. Volusia 358's IndyCar DW12 at Charlotte at 7 p.m. on Coast to Coast. Wednesday night, Shaggy also has Hometown Heroes with 360s and 410s and street stocks at Lincoln. Thursday night, not sure who's going to be broadcasting Thursday Night Thunder. Maybe me, maybe Zach. Who knows? That'll be at Williams Grove Speedway for the small blocks and the big blocks. Next Monday, Monday Night Madness for Week 10 is at the Speed Palace Port Royal Speedway, where anything can happen at that treacherous big track. You don't want to miss out on it. All things on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Barney's got the checkers in hands. We are 35 laps away from Wave of the Twin Checkers. And we appreciate you choosing to spend your Monday night with us. It's time to meet the field of 22 for the green flag. Here's the RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. Next to him, Bob DeGood in the 7. Row number 2, the boss, Ross Corinna in the 10. Gavin Chatham next to him in car number 99. Row number 3, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Brennan Lacey next to him in the 114. Row 4, the Superman, Kurt Schetzer in the 218. Randy Shreves next to him in the 56. Rounding out the top 10 for tonight, the Professor, John Hine in the 71. And Talia Labari in the 19. Row number 6, Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217, and the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. Row number 7, Brad Waite in the 814, and the Bandy Built Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Row number 8, Dan McLaren, he's in the 88, and the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Rest of the grid, row number 9, the Pink Panther, Jesse X in the 127. Next to the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Row 10, Barry Goldner, he's in the 36. Next to the Money King, Kyle Moonen in the 24. Final row for tonight, B-Town, Brandon Templeton in the 31. And 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Picks to win, who do you got, Zach?
I want to pick that 7 so bad, Marty, but
Me too.
Man, I just can't do it. I think that 39 here, he's going to be itching. He was quick there, almost beat Bob the Good there to the line. I think the 39 is going to save a little bit of tire. High side banger is going to win this one.
Give me Ross Corinna from third tonight. So see what happens here.
Man, neither of us respected the salesman starting P1 here tonight. I just think it's so cheesy to pick the leader. I just couldn't do it.
Just wait. It may work. Trust me. 22 cages of cold metal with hot rub at the corner set to take the green. Steve King Foundation pace truck is in. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's showtime at I-55. Blake Chapman's got the lead. Bob DeGood, Ross Corinna battling out for the second position. Off the corner, Chapman leads. And how about Gavin Chatham moving his way up to the third spot? Lets the high side trouble. John Io, big one. Big one. Tyler Wilson lost the top wing. Jesse Bandy involved. Brandon Templeton. A lot of good drivers involved. And now we got a yellow flag.
Yeah, just now as Blake Chapman almost gets into it coming around. That was a close one.
Show you what happened. Happened in the middle of the pack. Ooh, Bandy sent it directly. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't want to say it. But, Zach, that was clear. That looked to be payback from last week.
Yeah.
If you missed what happened last week at Limerland, go see it. On board with the 49. Right there. Right in the kisser.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what happens. I mean, guys pay each other back for things, but you really got to feel bad for the guys who got mixed up in it, who had no business in it last week.
And if you're a guy that got mixed up in it, you're going to be peed off at that 49.
Yeah, I mean, because you're kind of in the middle of the field there. There's a lot of cars around you. That's not a good place to go for payback, but, things happen, Marty.
Alrighty. Well, we're going to move on from that. So we'll rack them and stack them back up. Blake Chapman, Bob DeGood, the front row. Gavin Chatham, Ross Corinna, row number 2. Brennan Lacey, Patrick Spangler, row 3. Randy Shreves, Kurt Schatzer, row 4. Tally Labari, Terry Landis round out the top 10 as we're set to come back to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
Bob DeGood caught sleeping a little bit. Lost P2 to Gavin Chatham at the line already. Now P4,
Bob
now
DeGood's
he's
getting
gonna bounce
swallowed.
around.
Big time. Randy Shreves contact. More contact further back. Yellow flag. Not out yet. Somehow we're still green. Is iRacing drunk or something?
Yeah, so a flagman's going to lose his job tonight, Marty.
We brought up Barney in scenic mode, and he may be sacked before we even take the checkered flag tonight. Honestly, that yellow would have been just what Bob DeGood would have wanted, because he would have been back to second.
Yeah, I mean, if that comes out at the time, you're exactly right. Bob DeGood gets his spot back.
Here's what happened. Smorgasbord mid-pack. Man, Jack Hitt went for a wild ride. Same with Tyler Wilson. Looked like a boomerang out there. Contact, nowhere to go.
We are going to try it double file again here.
We'll see.
Green flag, green flag.
All right, back to the green flag on lap number 6. Chapman able to hold serve. Corinna down to 3rd. Chatham through him. Patrick Spangler up to 4th. See what Brennan Lacey can do here on a track he's key to win at, possibly. All right, may try and go 3 wide for the 3rd position. Nope, backs out of it.
Yeah.
Caution, Terry Landis. See what happened to the Desert Demon. He just lose it off the turn 2. Ooh, barely contact with Joseph Grandy. And caution came out at the perfect time. I wonder if the race director, whoever's up in that timing tower in the game, not a real person, in the game, was yelled at by the promoter of this track, possibly.
Yeah, they got that one off pretty quick. I mean, happened right in front of him there coming out of 4, so he would have been had to have been pretty blind not to see that, but it's good to see a caution wave on time. You got to hope that the tempers have subsided here and everybody settles down here as we're getting ready to go back green.
Single file rest of the race, and this is at lap number 8 of 35.
Patrick Spangler gets a chance to go back to the top shelf where he feels comfortable, and we'll have to see if it's got speed. That 39 will find it, and it looks like it's got some.
Well, they call him the high side banger for a reason, but can he get Gavin Chatham off of that high side? To go for the 2nd spot, we'll have to see. Behind Spangler, meanwhile, Brennan Lacey, Ross Corinna still continue to duke it out for the 4th position. Ross Corinna looking for bite off of turn number 2. Great corner by him, but
coming up on the lap car.
Pretty good. Here comes the lap traffic for the first time tonight. Zach mentioned Terry Landis, the first driver that Blake approaches here, and he keeps it underneath.
Yeah, Terry doing a good job of just holding his line down there, not running super slow, making sure he doesn't get run over, but getting out of the leader's way. It's good job by Terry.
And Brennan Lacey had to move up to the outside, but it may cost him. Here comes Randy Shreves looking for the 5th position, and the number 56 going to get it off for 4. Oh, man, nearly squeezed him in the wall. That got tight for just a moment, Zach.
Yeah, you know, trying to work their way around Terry Landis, but Brennan Lacey going back to that top shelf, trying to shut down the run that the 56 was getting. Don't want to leave that door open anymore.
Best drivers so far on the track, both Blake Chapman and Patrick Spangler, the top 2 in the championship. And Spangler is right there, just had the quickest lap last time by at a 12:21 on the tail tank. Peaks underneath on Chatham. Can he get 2nd out for 4? Not this time. It may take a slide job to get him.
Yeah, now, you know, Marty, I think he's smarter than this, but keep an eye on that 71 here. He's starting to make his way through the field. He's caught up to the 24 at Kyle Moonen, and he's only 3 away from that 4 at Jesse Vandy, 49.
That'll be something to keep your eye on, that's for sure. Hines rebounded up to the 13th position. Yellow waves for Barry Goldner. That appears to be turn number 2 where the 36 got turned.
Yeah, it spins right in front of your leader, Blake Chapman. Oh my gosh, look at Blake Chapman. He's going to need a new pair of shorts.
Oh boy! That may even be 2X for Blake.
Yeah, it's definitely some incident points there. And, you know, since this update, depending on how it registered him hitting him in the hitbox, he's got to hope that right front didn't suffer much damage. That's going to be a big deal.
Look at this. Wow. That was nearly bad.
And the right front does look okay to me, but just because it looks okay on my end doesn't mean, you know, it's going to handle the same for him. So
well, he's been
going
able
to have to stay focused this first lap.
Well, he's been able to steer through the corners, so that's a start. You would know if his steering was messed up, whether it be under green or yellow. Gonna watch this restart from the aerial shot. Ooh, Chatham was trying to go for the early jump. Blake said, "Nana." Spangler high. He's got a chance at second, possibly. Where does Chatham go? Keeps it on the middle. Could Spangler get a big run off for turn 4? The answer is yes. He goes for it. Decides not to go low in 1 and 2, though, that time.
Gavin went down there and shut the door. And, well, Patrick is getting this amazing run off the top shelf out of 2, but just a little loose in the middle of 3 and 4. He can't seem to tie a whole good lap together. He's got to be smooth.
Spangler looking beautiful right now. He found the cookies, that's for sure. Trying to put some extra chocolate chips in them, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, now the 99, you see, he's floating up and down the straightaway. He's doing what he has to do. He's taking away all the momentum from Patrick Spangler.
And Spangler faked low that time. Chatham nearly thought he was about to get spooked with a car underneath him. All this meanwhile, Blake Chapman trying to pull away, but not really. 0.6 of a second the gap over Gavin Chatham, and about to approach some lap traffic in just a moment. I think that's Barry in the 36. Looking for some other good battles on the racetrack. 3 wide off for turn number 4. You had Kyle Moonen stuck in the middle for just a moment, and John Hine, Jesse Bandy are next to each other.
Yes, they are.
This could get interesting. They're side by side. Contact with Brad Waite. Well, we know John's not going to race Bandy dirty. Oh!
Oh, man.
And no, that was not intentional. No, it was not.
No, definitely not, but John's not going to know that right now, Marty.
Yep.
John does not know that right now.
All part of contact with Joseph Grandy in the 518. Well, guess we had the camera on at the perfect time. Show you what happened. Bandy came down to Joseph Grandy. There was some neck code into the professor. Right on board with John. Got in the back of Brad Waite as well. Somehow Brad didn't spin because of that. Yeah, if you're John on the spot, you're probably thinking he just took me out on purpose again. But nah, when he goes back and watches the tape there, it's all cool. But just drivers going for the same piece of real estate.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. 3 wide on a small little 3rd-mile track. That's gonna happen, and you said it perfectly. John's gonna be upset now, but when he gets a chance to look at that, I think he'll realize that was just a racing deal.
So, 8 to go when we come back to the green flag, and it's gonna come down to the wire here. Blake Chapman, Gavin Chatham, Patrick Spangler have been the 3 drivers to beat. We'll see who takes this one. Chatham stays on the back of Blake Chapman here. Both go for the same line in 3 and 4. Chatham and Spangler both have options to work with, and I think Spangler's searching a lot more at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Gavin, he's got some speed, and he mentioned us in his interview there, Marty. He's never won one of these, so you know it is on his mind if he's going to bring it up, and it being that close, he is going to drive the wheels off this thing. Is coming out of 3 and 4, we're going to have 5 more times around.
Can he go 2 of 3 tonight is the question. Spangler up on the wall. Chatham now switches up to the 2nd groove. Better exit from Blake that time. 4 laps to go at the line here at I-55. Can the salesman do it?
Ross with a big move for P3.
Spangler crisscrosses. Does he go for the slider once again? No, he lets Ross have the line. The boss is up to third. 3 laps to go at I-55. And now it comes down to these two men. Chapman, the points leader, the defending champ, or Gavin Chatham. 2 to go this time, Zach.
Yeah, you got to think Gavin, unless he's got something amazing here, he's just run out of time. Blake is so smooth. He doesn't make mistakes. Gavin's not going to luck into another one. He's got to go earn it.
Final lap underway. Blake Chapman in the Crite Sim Racing, Galen's homegrown popcorn. Number 20, trying to break the tie and wins this season. Off the corner, 3rd win of the season, Blake Chapman, checkered flag. Chatham 2nd, Corinna 3rd, Spangler 4th, Dan McLaren from 15th to 5th takes the Hard Charger Award tonight.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, Marty. I mean, racing's full of what ifs, but what happens if Joseph Grandy has enough fuel in that thing in heat race number 1?
That's
Blake
a
Chapman
great point.
possibly doesn't start on the front row, and we may have a whole different story. So Grandy's really going to be kicking himself.
Unfortunately, we won't know the answer to that what if. Give a shout out as well to Kyle Moonen finishing the top 10 after starting in 20th tonight. Get some good charges up through. Jesse Atkinson also finishing 8th position. The bad break to Kurt Schatzer, started 7th, finished in 17th. Bob DeGood as well, starting 2nd, finished in the 15th position. 2 laps down. Then here's a look at the rest of the field. So I think we got everyone except for Blake, so I think that's good for us. So let's get to the top 3 here. And we'll begin with the boss himself, Ross Corinna, who got the pass done with a slider, then had the high side given to him to clear for 3rd position. Ross, talk us through that finish, man, and picking up those big points.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to finally get to race the Renegades race this season. But yeah, I don't know. I think Patrick kind of tapped the wall, and I figured he was going to have a little bit of momentum loss, so I figured that was the time to throw the slider. Luckily, I didn't hit it too hard and kept it off the wall, and Patrick, being the driver that he is, didn't drive it in too hard in the back end of me there. But yeah, like I said, it's always good to try to run these Renegades races, and taking a 3rd place to Gavin and Blake is always a good deal.
How'd you feel about your car as a whole tonight?
I wasn't very happy with it at first, and I think I found something there at the end. I'm not going to say that I could have passed the 1st and 2nd place guys, but it sure felt really good there towards the end. I don't know if I was catching them or not, but yeah, it's just too bad I didn't find it a little earlier to see if I could have had something for them.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Phantom Motorsports guys, Velocity Race Design, Weichel Sportswear, Power Outdoors, M9 Performance for the setup. You guys up in the booth putting on the show, and then everybody at Coast to Coast making this league work.
All righty, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best luck next week.
Thank you.
So Ross Corinna, the boss, finishing in 3rd. Gavin Chatham, meanwhile, a 2nd place finish, nearly took his first Renegades win. Zach, you've got him.
Well, long time no see, Gavin. You got a copy?
I hear you guys.
Hey, man, it almost a mirror image of that first race. You're hanging around in 2nd. It seemed like you could get runs, and I mean, you were keeping up with Blake, but every time you'd get there, we'd get a caution come out. Just once again, man, just how frustrating is that?
It's extremely frustrating. I'm starting to feel like Darren Pittman feels in the National Open, finishing second all these times. We've probably finished second a ton of times here in the Renegades. Just can't get that win. I mean, Blake was doing that. We were quicker than him, I think, and definitely holding the bottom there. Made a little wing adjustment on the caution, and then the car felt awesome. Felt really good. It was sticking on the bottom, and you're starting to get a little bit sideways coming off the corners. And I was like, but unfortunately, I tried to. You got to go where they're not, and there was just nothing there in that middle, and I wasn't going to try to make the top stick. So I don't think the car was set up for that. But yeah, it's great to have the speed. It's just kind of frustrating. But Blake did everything he needed to do and stayed on the bottom there and protected that line, which was the fast line around, and was able to pick up the win. But it's definitely getting frustrating for sure. Finishing second, they always say your first one's the hardest one to get. So we'll keep trucking away. We got the speed. We'll keep coming back and keep giving it a go.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin, you definitely got the speed. I mean, you talked about you were right in there in tow with him, and you mentioned if you jump up to the high side, it seemed like you get a little bit too sideways, but you got to go where he's not, and we know that 20 got such good racecraft. He is not an easy guy to pass, and well, Gavin, you got some work to do, man, but that first win is definitely going to come. Congratulations on the P2, man. Who you want to thank?
I just want to thank you guys for doing an awesome job with the broadcast, Coast to Coast Racing, all the sponsors, all the admins, everybody involved that puts this league on and allows us to come out here and race. I just want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsports Design, Velocity Race Design, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, Miller Time Motorsports. Thank all the sponsors, all the support. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and supporting this league and watching the races. I hope we put on a good show for you all each and every week, and I just want to thank my fans as well for taking the time to come out and support me and watch these races.
Well, 2 podiums tonight, man. Looking forward to seeing you running this series full time next year. Congratulations, Gavin.
All right. Thanks, guys. You guys have a great night.
It's Gavin Chatham with a runner-up finish here. Another good run for the 99. Now we go to victory lane to talk with your winner, Blake Chapman in the 20. Gets it done, starting on pole, leading all the laps. How important was track position tonight?
Oh, it was everything, Marty. Honestly, this car didn't feel that great. I think if you put us anywhere else in the field that isn't the front row, I don't think we win this race or even really come close. But, sometimes the fastest car doesn't always win. And it was just one of those races where you got to get in the groove and just kind of fall in line. And fortunately, that bottom was quick all race long. That's where we had the car set up to run. And all I had to do was hold that line. And basically, we were set flag to flag.
I do want to ask you this as well. Did you suffer any damage from the contact with Barry Goldner after he spun and it happened right in front of you?
I don't think so. The car didn't feel any different. We definitely made contact there. I thought, because I could see Barry coming down the track and he was loose, so I figured I was going to go high, but he must not let off the gas at all because he hit that wall hard and bounced back a long way. So it wasn't what I was expecting, but fortunately we were able to slow down pretty quickly and get to the bottom and just make a little contact, but I don't think it affected the car any.
Well, next week we go to Port Royal. What do you expect going on in?
Well, that track could be tricky. It's going to be different this year for sure, or this season for sure, because we've been running Hometown Heroes there a couple weeks so far. So that's going to be interesting to see how that track comes in for a Renegades race compared to a Hometown Heroes race. That top's going to be rough, but it's going to be fast. So you're going to see a lot of guys up there and probably a lot of guys trying to work that bottom. So I think both lines could be quick, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I had some of this type of food yesterday, but who do you want to give shout-outs to?
First, I got to thank the family for watching, and I got to thank all the guys at the Crite Sim Racing Team and the Can-Am Racing Team. Got to shout out Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. And, of course, I got to shout out your favorite popcorn, Marty. That's Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You can head over to their website and use code CART, that's C-A-R-T at checkout for 15% off some of their delicious popcorn. Disappointed Dean wasn't here to help me with that tonight, but I'll see him at Knoxville this week, and hopefully we'll see you guys there next year. You guys, and I got to thank you guys for putting this broadcast on.
Hopefully I'll be there. Unfortunately, I cannot due to work commitments, but I hope to be there next year. You enjoy the time with the Coast to Coast fam. Tell the fam I said hello as well. Enjoy it this week, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Marty.
Absolutely. Blake Chapman, your winner tonight, his third win of the season. Zach, you and I may have to have our own little Knoxville party. I don't know. We're the lonely ones amongst the booth. Actually, we'll have to have Isaac join us.
Yeah, we'll have to sit in, and then maybe Dittmer can FaceTime us from the track, and we can get a little live action.
Yeah, if they do a photo of Victory Lane, we'll be just being it through FaceTime. So, but a great night tonight. Final thoughts before we put a cap to this.
Well, I'm definitely surprised. I mean, it's been a while since I've been behind the wheel, that's for sure. But I thought we'd see a top dominant track here at I-55. I was a little surprised to see the cars stay on the bottom all night, but hey, you got to go where it's quick. And Blake even said it there at the end. You didn't necessarily have to have the fastest car tonight. You just had to be smooth and take that racing line away, and that's exactly what the salesman did. So he caps off another great win here in a what's looking like a probable points championship here, Marty.
Absolutely. So with that, we are going to bid adieu here on the night. Appreciate you all joining us here on this fine Monday night. On behalf of the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig and his great group of admins. On behalf of my broadcast partner tonight, Shaggy Zach Chapman, Mark Scala saying so long. Congratulations to your winners this evening. Scott Rayome in 358s, Gavin Chatham in the Rebels, and in the Renegades, Blake Chapman. So long, everyone. We are clear.